Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some Halo 2 classic gameplay. There's also going to be a Combat Evolved gameplay later on in the video. I'm going to do a pretty long video today. I know some of you guys probably aren't too fond of the long videos. You find you drift off a little bit towards the end. That's totally fine. I personally just prefer long videos myself, and it's been such a long time since I've actually made a video that I wanted to give some piece of sizable content, and I feel like I have a lot to talk about regarding the state of Halo, the state of my channel, and where I really want to go from here. As you can tell, my audio quality is a little bit better today. I actually plugged in my Blue Yeti, and for some reason the audio quality was surprisingly good, and last time I had tried it, it was surprisingly terrible. So I was pretty happy to actually be able to use this again, because I was using the Astros mic for a bit, and it was fairly terrible, and someone commented on my video saying, "Oh my god, like, please, I like your commentary, but I cannot listen to this mic," which is something that just eats away at me inside. I'm like, I was hoping no one would bring this up so I could just ignore it and pretend it wasn't that bad, but then, yeah, someone brought it up and I wasn't too happy. So I changed it, and yeah, basically I haven't been playing that much Halo Master Chief Collection the last couple of weeks. I actually decided to go pretty much cold turkey on it. I did have this very on-off relationship with it where I would come on some days and I'd give it a try and I'd maybe stream for a couple of hours. I definitely haven't been uploading YouTube, as you guys are most likely aware, but in terms of streaming, I still tried to keep something up. I really didn't want to leave the community and, you know, leave it pretty much an inactive mess, which is kind of what it's become. Recently, I know Lurker Zero was doing a tremendous job of somehow outputting videos when no one else could do it, but eventually that starts to take its toll, and I can't help but feel that Lurker doesn't really want to carry the weight of the community, especially as the community itself isn't too passionate right now, and the game itself is not particularly a great platform to play on, and it's a massive shame because I feel like there's still passionate members who are just lurking underneath the surface, and they don't feel like Master Chief Collection does the community justice, or if it's enough of a tool to get a community going, and to get growth going, and to get something going, because, you know, I've been a part of the Halo 4 cycle where we made something out of almost nothing, where, you know, you had to undergo constant negativity and constant hatred towards the game, whether justified or not, and, you know, we still made something happen, and I think that's down to the fact that there were still Forge maps coming in. The playlists were changing fairly regularly. The population felt a little bit more stable. Whether or not MCC is ridiculously lower than Halo 4 at the end of Halo 4 cycle remains to be seen. It might even be a tiny bit higher for all I know. At the same time, there just seemed to be more consistency, and I think that's down to the fact that MCC is split across so many different games, that it's not just trying to make one game thrive, it's trying to make 4 different games under one banner thrive, and I think that's a very difficult task, and I think it was severely underestimated. And what MCC has taught me more so than any other game I've played is how big a deal population is, because I can sit here and I can hate on these little aspects of Master Chief Collection, and I can say this and that annoys me, but those annoyances and frustrations are multiplied tenfold when it's combined with a really low population, and everything just seems to spiral out of control with a low population. It just gets worse and worse, and it seems very hard to incentivize people to play and to bring in new players. And it just doesn't, it seems like a lost cause to me at this point, and I'm sure many of you guys, I'm sure I'm not really illuminating you guys or, you know, unveiling the mysteries of Master Chief Collection. I'm pretty sure we're all fairly aware right now that it's not in the best state. Now, where my channel is going to go from now on remains to be seen. I'm not going to be playing Master Chief Collection. I just don't think it's very good for my mental state. You know, the fact that I wasn't commentating the game should be evidence to my lack of passion, because I had all the time in the world to commentate, to be honest. I had the motivation, but I just wasn't passionate for the game. I was passionate to commentate, and I was passionate to, you know, make my YouTube subscriber base happy, or my, you know, whatever small fan base I have happy. I was super stoked to do that. You know, I'll never not be stoked to have a fan base. I think it's really, really cool, however big or however small, to have people passionate about something that you're passionate about, especially when it's, you know, pretty darn niche, and, you know, you just get a bunch of people to talk to in depth. and share your opinions. I think that's sick, you know, and my only worry is that a lot of my opinions that I had to share were super negative regarding Master Chief Collection. I just didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to flood the sub box full of negative stuff, and the only two options we really had at this point in time were be honest and be a negative douchebag. You know, I couldn't even blame someone for having a negative douchebag channel at this point in time, because there's not too much to be positive about, in my opinion, until Halo 5. Of course, Halo 5, there's a lot to be excited about, and there's a lot to be interested in, and it could be a great game for all I know. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of undecided on Halo 5 right now, but obviously I'm going to buy it, and obviously I'm going to play it. I'm more undecided about Halo 5 in terms of its population and its size. As I just said, it was amazing to me how much the low population crippled Master Chief Collection, despite there being so much potential in the product. Even with, you know, all the broken stuff and the unpolished aspects of the game, I do think the low population was the thing that put the final nail in the coffin. Obviously, 343 made mistakes prior to that, and if the game hadn't been broken in the first place, as broken as it was in the first place, then this wouldn't have happened. But unfortunately, the fallout was too much for Master Chief Collection to take, and it just couldn't bounce back, which is a real shame, you know, because it kind of is reminiscent of Halo 4's life cycle. Halo 4, at times it looked like it had a chance to bounce back, and it had a really flat opening to its cycle, and it just didn't, you know, really entice the Halo fan base and make everyone happy on both sides of the fence. It didn't really make the casuals happy, it didn't really make the competitive guys happy, and everyone just felt a little bit lost in a lot of ways, in a lot of respects. And then at times it felt like, oh, you know, maybe the game's back on track, maybe it's with Ricochet Champions Bundle, maybe it can make some sort of a comeback. And it was heartbreaking to see the same sort of things happen with Master Chief Collection, where we're getting this, you know, this clutch miracle patch that is going to come in, save everything, make us super happy, you know, it's going to change the game. It's a small chance, and a very small chance indeed, but it's something at least. And that's been kind of a cornerstone of 343's game cycle so far, is that they managed to, like, capture a essence of hope out of nowhere, and then it ends up snowballing out of control, and it's just, it doesn't work. Not snowballing out of control in a good way. It loses momentum and then fails. And that sucks. It really, really does suck, because I've always wanted to give 343 the benefit of the doubt. If you remember my Halo 4 videos, in a lot of ways, I was one of the few people who wouldn't trash on 343 and wouldn't, you know, I'd at least try and give them the benefit of the doubt. And with Halo 4, like, there were aspects of the game I enjoyed, and I think they were quite creative in their choices of power weapons. I loved the Forge. I loved that they, in some respects, they were reaching out to the community. Maybe they did it a little bit late. Later than most people would have liked, because the first couple of months we were kind of a bit stranded, especially with no ranks and stuff like that. But there was a glimmer of hope, and you could have put the beginning of Halo 4 down to, you know, inexpertise, and, you know, this company was newly formed. I was willing to give them a couple of excuses here and there and slide things off. And then Master Chief Collection was handled worse than Halo 4, in my opinion. All those little glimmers of hope in Halo 4, they were far few and between in comparison to Halo 4, and it felt like Halo 4 at least felt like they were trying to bounce back, and they were always fighting. Master Chief Collection, it's been kind of rare that it felt like they were fighting. Nonetheless, like I said, I will try Halo 5, and I honestly, from the gameplay perspective, I know a lot of people say that the gameplay is killing competitive Halo once again, and it's not fundamental Halo at its roots. And I've got to be honest, like, it still has a really high kill time. I don't like low kill time shooters. I don't really like low kill time Twitch shooters, in terms of from a competitive perspective. That's been the biggest thing that I've always wanted Halo to stick to, is that I want it to be hard to get a kill, and I did feel like it was hard to get a kill in Halo 5, so I'm, like, pretty lenient on a lot of the other aspects. I do wish Thruster Pack would be toned down a tiny bit, but it's not make or break for me. And the list of patch notes that they had going into Halo 5 does sound intriguing to me, and I do want to give the game a try. Mostly for me, I just want a high population. I can't emphasize that enough. I think it's a gigantic deal. I think it will make or break Halo 5, and you know, I want a nice, healthy mix of of players, of playlists, of game types, of forging options, of custom options. That's what I want. I want variety because Halo's always nailed that. And Halo 4 kind of took a step back in a little way. You know, the Forge didn't even work. I don't think, well, like the Forge worked, but the file share options didn't work at the very beginning. They eventually sorted that out and they started to get the ball rolling. But if you compare the amount of maps that they had offer in Halo Reach using the Forge options compared to Halo 4, it was kind of a little dismal on Halo 4's part, and it could have done a little bit better because I think one of the main reasons people liked Reach as much as they did is because they had such a gigantic roster of Forge maps, and they just kept on coming, and it seemed like the content pool in Reach was almost unlimited, which was really nice. So if they could do something like that, and I think that comes way more naturally with a higher population, with people interested in the game, so they had a reason to update the game, they had a reason to keep people happy. I do think it's a little unfair of them as a developer to wait for the population to come in, and that's when they'll start, you know, making the game better, instead of trying to make the game better to entice people in so that more and more people play. Because I think at least towards the beginning of Master Chief's cycle, if they'd have been doing a bit more of that and working on the game a little bit harder, in my humble opinion, you know, and putting more resources into it, they could have saved it from being as disastrous as it is. Maybe, you know, with the breakages at the beginning, it wouldn't have been perfect, that's for sure, but it could have been better, for Christ's sake. I mean, it's every single Halo game. There is such a large population of people who are interested in at least one of these Halo games. Not just interested, fanatics, insane fanatics, and you wouldn't know that going on Master Chief Collection. It feels like a bit of a graveyard at times. Even if the population isn't completely dead, it definitely has the ambience and the atmosphere of being a graveyard. I can tell you that from first-hand experience. I play with a lot of different parties, and there's a lot of complaining going on, and there's a lot of, you know, like, silences in parties of just, like, you know, you sigh, you shake your head, and you try and shake it off and go into the next game with a better attitude, but it's hard to do that every time. But yeah, that's just Master Chief Collection for me in a nutshell. I wanted to have a long, open, honest conversation about it. And I think that's pretty much my last Master Chief Collection commentary, because I can't remember where I left off last time, but I don't think there was as much closure, most likely. I haven't actually gone back and looked at it, but yeah, knowing me, there probably wasn't that much closure. So moving forward, the games coming out soon are Black Ops 3, we've got Star Wars Battlefront 3 on the horizon, and trying to think of the other big multiplayer games. I'm a multiplayer guy myself personally. Obviously Halo 5. I don't know why I forgot that. So those are the three big games. On paper, once again, it's a very nice looking roster. I can't help but worry with the last 2 years of gaming that there might be some cracks that end up showing up, you know, as good as it looks. As much as I'm a gigantic Star Wars fan, I've always been a fan of the Treyarch games, except I didn't really like Black Ops 2, but I still kind of respected Black Ops 2 in some small way. You know, they put a lot of effort into it, and there was a fair amount of innovation in the title. So I'd be willing to give... I kind of owe Black Ops 3 a chance, considering how much time I put into Black Ops 1. And then the other game, Halo 5. Like I said, Halo 5, I'm just counting on a high population that I really want that. The beta was a little bit worrying, considering the drop-off that happened and the amount of hours put into, as compared to the Halo 3 beta. I don't know if you guys have seen that chart, but didn't exactly fill me with optimism, I must say. But nonetheless, I'm going to be going into all of these games with an open mind. For the time being, I'm actually just re-downloaded Advanced Warfare. Don't know if that's a terrible idea. Might be a terrible idea. I got kind of bad connections on it. I actually don't mind the gameplay, and it kind of sets up, I guess, for Halo 5, because the thruster packs and the movement is fairly similar. So, yeah. But I did get just god-awful connections on that game. I don't know why. It annoyed me. Being British doesn't always have its perks, but there we go. And then, I don't know what else I'm going to play. I've been playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. I've been traveling to a lot more tournaments. And I actually had a pretty good placing, and there was kind of a crowd cheering against me because I was trying to upset the favorite. And I won the first game. And then people started like screaming, and then the guy I was playing popped off, and he was like, "Let's fucking go!" or whatever, and screamed in my face. And I kind of broke down at that point, because I mean, like, he shouted in my face, and I was like, "Oh my god, okay, now I'm nervous," and I ended up choking a little bit. But he was better than me, I can't lie. Anyway, I will see you in the future, guys. The next 2 videos I'm going to be doing are going to be a Black Ops 3 and a Star Wars Battlefront, you know, breakdown of my expectations and my thoughts and stuff like that from the trailers and the content that we've seen. So I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. I've been Monster Major. Thanks for watching. Peace out.